Today we're going to have some fun combining Tinkercad with VisualGPT, so let's get cracking. This is Tinkercad.com. It is the absolute easiest way to learn computer-aided design. It is 100% free and you can simply choose sign in with Google. Our designs are all stored to the cloud. You can have 3D design circuits and code blocks. Today we're going to talk about a 3D design I made a while ago. If I type cart for go-kart, we'll be able to search for it. This project has a tutorial that's an absolute blast. I'll make sure there's a link to it in the description. Real quickly, I am going to hit tinker this so I can launch mine. Of course, you'll need to follow that tutorial listed there to create your own. But once you've got your fun ride created, let me show you how to take it to VisualGPT. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a couple angles. I want a shot from here, and I'm just going to screen capture this image of my ride. I'm going to do Alt-Tab to move back to it. And then I also want a view from this angle as well. Once again, screenshot, you can use whatever tool you want. I'm going to quickly set this back to the normal colors just so you can see how it would normally look if you'd built the tutorial. Also, I'll put the shadows and the grid on and put the work plane back on the ground. Once again, if you haven't completed the tutorial already, you can follow this bit.ly right here. With that completed, you can bounce to VisualGPT. Now today I'm going to use the AI video editor. When you enter this, you need to pick which system you're going to use. I am going to use CDance 2.0. I'm going to quickly upload my images. Here they are in my screenshot folder. I'm going to shift select and open them at the same time. And then I'm also going to find an image of me. I'm going to grab the cartoon one of the shirt I'm wearing today and choose open to bring it in. Now it's time to come up with your prompt. So for my prompt, I wrote that I want a video that has me riding in the go-kart. I would like it to seem like I'm racing in a Mario Kart race. I've provided 2 angles of the go-kart just so it helps create the video. Please have me waving at some point during the race. Now this is my idea. If you want to make yours smarter, you can do optimize the prompt. When you hit this, it takes that prompt and makes it much more detailed. Just scrolling through to watch it, we ended up with double the words. We've got wide shots to capture the excitement. Make sure I wave cheerfully out the go-kart window. And it also includes the Mario Kart. So I think this is going to be fantastic. Now you need to decide the aspect ratio you want. I'm going to send this for phones. I'm going to choose to make the clip 15 seconds. That makes it last a little bit longer. I'm going to do the quality of 480p. And note down at the bottom, the more complex, longer, and fancier you make it, the more credits you burn. I think it's worth the 500 credits though, so I'm going to hit the button, and then we need to check back in 4 to 8 minutes. While this is doing its thing, I'm going to bounce back to my project. Of course, you can see that this is happening right now. And what I want to highlight again is just how useful I'm finding this for making my YouTube thumbnails. It takes the starter project I give and gives me something that is much more clickable. Of course, I do also want to highlight this was my first time playing with the video editing. This was an image that was on Facebook, and I added the Lions logo simply by putting it in the prompt. And then, of course, I had a ton of fun making it crash, but then having me land back upright. I also took a moment to generate it in widescreen mode. As you can see, total blast, and the results were pretty fantastic. As that is wrapping up, I do want to take you to my website, HLModTech.com. I have got a page dedicated to Tinkercad with tons of amazing categories. Below that, you'll find the day one favorites, the useful starters, and then one of my favorites, the HLModTech digital library. This is a Google Sheet where I have been organizing my lessons so they're easier for you to get to what you want. They start with level 1 and they go all the way to level 6. There is a ton of information for you to explore, and also if you're ever looking up here, those are other users checking it out while you're in it. On the level 1 page, I have got an updates column. This will have some of my favorite things in it. It also mentions that bright green is the color for this week. I keep updating that so that you can find out what has been added lately. I'm leaving the old colors for a little bit just so it's easier to see what has happened in the last few weeks. On level 4, we have the free files area. This is a fantastic place to check out. This week's TPU cat lid has gotten a lot of views. Of course, you can simply click the bit.lys to go check out the videos. And then finally, I also want to highlight the shortcuts. This was requested by a ton of viewers, and it's a fantastic way to become more efficient as a designer. And check it out, we are 8 minutes later, and here is our video. I'm gonna click on it.
Say it's ours. And a Mr. Neat then. Shine.
All right, so that's a total blast. Obviously, the language being spoken is not English. I am going to fiddle with that. I might try and edit it, just putting my own voice on top of it to see how that works. I'm going to simply hit download of this file, and I'm going to store it as HLCart and hit save. I had not thought of putting the prompts in for what I wanted my character to say, but that might be something I try in the next iteration of this project. All right, so a quick wrap up. Of course, I really want you to check out the Tinkercad go-kart. Super fun lesson, highlights the bent pipe, also uses a jet engine that I make in code blocks. Lots of cool skills in there, and of course it's fun and you can customize it as much as you want. Now the second part of this was VisualGPT. So cool to be able to take a static image and turn it into a video. For me, it helps me highlight that the other project exists. Of course, super fun to have me waving in it. And of course, every once in a while I hear that I look a bit like Mario, so there's a little bit of fun involved there as well. Now, of course, my main use for VisualGPT is to make the awesome thumbnails, but being able to do this to highlight my other works is awesome as well. If you have epic uses for VisualGPT, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. If you haven't tried VisualGPT yet, make sure you check the link in the description. Of course, I do want to say thank you to all of my supporters via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 different levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Also, make sure you pay attention for those members only posts. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. It has a fantastic free messaging area. You can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe. You're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.